3 wins in a row with Murloc comp. Okay, new meta? Hey guys, Languagehacker here, and today we went a little more on the meme side of things and got a Murloc comp together. Now, there's not many Murlocs available in the game right now for Mercenaries, but I did string together what was available and kind of threw it in with a mix of speed manipulation to actually get something playable. So enjoy the guide, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what kind of things you guys are looking for in terms of comp videos. All right. Let's get started. So, the only 3 Murlocs in the game right now are Morgul, Mutinous, and Murkai. And you'll see that the rest of the bench is Cairn, Diablo, and Dawngrasp. So we have a Murloc opener, which is the 3 that I'm starting with, and then we end up throwing in Dawngrasp or Cairn, usually Dawngrasp second, and then Cairn, and then Diablo as the sort of speed finisher to actually utilize the power of Diablo. Yeah, I tried some nature stuff as well with the Murlocs, but it didn't quite feel as good as just running like these 3, which unfortunately are showing up in every single comp, but yay! Not much we can do about that. Anyways, let's talk about what the Murlocs do. Morgul, the Oracle, Murloc Missile, deal damage, give your party extra health. It's actually usually just your Murlocs, but we're using a specific equipment that buffs all characters, all friendly characters, not just Murlocs. We have Fishy Barrage, deal damage to a random enemy, repeat for each of your other Murlocs. Healing Wave, restore health. If the target hasn't acted yet, restore extra health. Now let's go through the equipment. Morgul's Mitt, Murloc Missile, the first ability, buffs all friendly characters, not just Murlocs. Spiky Pufferfish, Fishy Barrage deals more damage, which is the deal X damage to a random enemy, repeat for 8 Murlocs. And Dowsing Rod, Healing Wave restores more health. You generally don't use Healing Wave too much because it's just kind of slow and doesn't out-heal enough anyways, so you don't want to use the Dowsing Rod. I haven't seemed to be able to get too many Murloc spawns off, which by that means I shouldn't be running the Pufferfish, so I've been using the Mitt. Generally when my Murlocs dies, and then when I put in something else from the bench, I like having a bit of extra health on them. But if you do happen to be able to pull off a bunch of Murloc spawns, you could try Pufferfish instead to get some more damage output with Morgul. So we start with Morgul. Mutinous is next up as well. Mutinous is a fighter. Devouring attack, attack an enemy, death blow, gain its attack. And this is, I think, the same all the way through, but as you upgrade it, it becomes faster. Scaly Taunt, gain Taunt, and this takes less damage this turn. And again, becomes faster as you upgrade it. And Devour, eat your lowest health Murloc and gain its stats. Again, I'm not spawning Murlocs too much, so when I use this, it will generally eat one of the other Murloc Mercenaries, which I don't really want to do too much. So I usually just either use the Taunt or the Devouring attack with Mutinous. Let's go over equipment. Iridescent Necklace, Scaly Taunt makes the Merc take less damage, which is not what I'm currently using, but we'll get to that shortly. Pearlescent Scales, after Murloc dies, gain +1/+4. I don't think, again, because we're not really spawning a bunch of Murlocs, this doesn't seem like it's really the way to go. You can try making a Murloc spawning comp, and then we'll get into that with Murkai, but I found that it's a little too inconsistent. And then Earthen Armor, just a passive +5/+10, which has felt pretty good so far, and that's why I'm using that. Yeah, this gets in the way. Scaly Taunt makes you kind of beefy, especially with the Earthen Armor. Gets in the way of the Samuro Quick Strike. Samuro Quick Strike is 4 speed, and Scaly Taunt gets under that. If you upgrade it to Scaly Taunt 4, it also procs before Xyrella gets her Blinding Luminance off, which will also help you take a little bit less damage. But mainly, it sets up as a taunt to protect the other 2 without a cooldown. And if you're against non-Samuro Xyrella openers, you can use Devouring Attack paired with one of Murkai's abilities to actually get a kill on something turn 1. Generally good against caster comps because there are 2 fighters here, Mutinous and Murkai. And now let's talk about Murkai. Also a fighter. Finvasion, gain +5 attack and Divine Shield, attack an enemy, and your other Murlocs attack it. And it's a pretty solid speed as well. Now the Divine Shield pops up and the extra 5 attack because of an equipment. I should note that. And we're using that because Divine Shield is pretty good, and permanent attack buff, also pretty good. I've often gotten Murkai to stick through a couple of turns, and every turn, if you just keep spamming Finvasion, Extra Divine Shield for your attack. You get an attack off and your other Murlocs attack, so you can start ramping up damage pretty quickly with Murkai if Murkai happens to stick all the way through. And the following two are Summoning Murlocs. Felfin Navigator buffs your other Murlocs, and Giant Fin is just a Rush Murloc. And these two are on a 1-turn cooldown. I found that these are still kind of useful if you expect your opponent to set up taunts or something, or if you get slowed a bit too much with Invasion, you can crank one of these out. I've used Felfin Navigator to, for example, get outside of range of a Samuro Whirling Blade AoE damage. When Murkai had like 8 health, I played a Navigator, which is 1 speed faster than Whirling Blade, which buffed Murkai outside of the Whirling Blade range. But generally, I use Finvasion a lot. Equipment-wise, Bubble Wand. Invasion also gives this Merc 5 attack and Divine Shield. I think this is the best one. Navigator's Amulet. Navigator buffs more. Again, if you want to try a spawn comp, you can try that, but I found that honestly, the rounds just don't go on long enough, and you don't have enough sustain here to actually protect your Murlocs to get to the point where you can keep spawning stuff, so I've been staying away from that. And finally, Primordial Fin, Giant Fin. The Rush one gains extra attack. So, the opener is Morgul Mutinous Murkai. I generally target something with Invasion that I want to kill. Morgul has Murloc Missile for some extra damage as well. And then Mutinous either taunts up if I'm trying to block a Samuro, or if I'm trying to get a kill, I end with Devouring Attack. And usually, Devouring Attack will get the Death Blow on turn 1. Mainly against casters, but against some low health protectors, and even against some fighters, you can get a kill off as well. So you need to do some math to see if that does come in for the death blow, which adds extra damage to Mutinous. That's pretty straightforward. After that, again, I usually switch to Dawn Grasp, Cairn, or Diablo. I'm not going to go through all of these abilities, but basically Dawn Grasp and Cairn have abilities that slow the opponent's abilities, and in some cases speed up your own, so that you can get your abilities off faster than your opponent. And because of that, we're running Diablo, which is another fighter that has some pretty good damage output, some slows himself, and particularly Fire Stomp is a big AoE that chains if your opponents haven't acted yet, and that works well with other mercenaries that speed up your abilities or slow your opponent's abilities. For equipment on Cairn, I'm using Reincarnation. For Diablo, I'm using Claws of Terror, but I've seen some people use Soulstone as well. That's fine too. And on Dawn Grasp, I'm using Chilling Amulet, which is the Death Rattle, freeze a random enemy until the end of the turn and do some damage. You could probably throw in whatever as the final 3 in this bench, but I found that I've been losing a lot when I have been running these 3. This Murloc opener is okay to snipe 1 or 2 units off, but it doesn't have enough oomph to kind of close out the game by themselves. Again, there's not that much Murloc synergy outside of these 3, so because of that, I've settled on running the anti-speed stuff that helps our mercs do things faster and slows our opponent mercs. Yeah, I mean, that's the comp. Outside of Cairn, Diablo, Dawn Grasp, it's not that special, but I honestly thought the Murlocs would not be really playable, and they've been actually playable, which is surprising. Next up, I'll show you a couple of games where I managed to, believe it or not, win with this composition, so stick around for those. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let me know if you guys have any other suggestions instead of Cairn, Diablo, or Dawn Grasp that you can run in something like a Murloc comp. Happy grinding, and see you next time. But I think they just lose to other Speedwin Nips. Another Blade Master opening. Okay. Sure. Alex Straw's gonna be Diablo? Yeah, guys, I know all of these things are good against Diablo, but you're not facing Diablo, you're facing Diablo and speed manipulation. So anything that's just naturally good against, or like faster than Diablo, isn't always faster than Diablo. And then you're running Alex, which is not really useful either. What are we doing here? I mean, that's taunting. So are we starting to hit Zarella, or are we starting to... Oh, you know what? My positioning is not very good against this opener. Fuck. Shit. Hmm. Where are you going? Let's try this. Zilla is the enabler? Yeah, I think it's Zarella. I'm just trying to think if it's worth doing it on anyone else. Oh, really? Okay. I'll be honest, I expected you to not do that, but that's fine. Okay. This is a quick kill, but she's still gonna get a binding, whatever, the luminance off. So maybe I just do this. You go somewhere else. And then you do that.
Job's done.
That's fine. Nice of me to lose that coin flip. That was pretty cool. It's very nice of me to lose that coin flip, actually. Cool, cool, cool.
You will answer. Job's done.
I think my taunt's just infinite, like, really slow. Oh well. I mean, the coin flip does matter, actually, going second there. I lose 20 damage, and I lose 10 health on these guys. Like 5 health here and 5 health there.
By the light.
And doing. Am I doing this? Not really good against Holy Nova. And they do have the thing where Holy Nova does more. Ruh-roh. Could ship this. Okay, realistically, is this surviving? I mean, if it is surviving, that's quite good, so I should try. Haunt is too slow, so I might as well just try to go for the kill. Yep. Okay. Okay, so we got a slow off. It did hit the right Samuro, and Samuro just used a mirror image, so we can go Diablo and then do the AoE, or we can go Karen. How slow are you? You're also quite slow. No, I don't think it is Diablo. Maybe... No, it's still this. Positioning that. So we get the Stomp off and the Flurry before Anduin does anything. They just used Death Coat so they can't heal. And then I either make a dude or do this. But I think you're dying to like AoE from Samuro. So I can either buff to play around that. Or do this. I'm not sure. Let's try this. Attacking is not going to make sense because that's never going off. I could try this instead. Let's try this. Ooh, they went for the taunt. Okay, interesting. Okay, we survived the AoE. And we got a slow on all three of them. Yes, it would attack again. Xalron's. Thing is, it's 4v4. My Murloc's dead. We have a speed advantage this turn, but it's not going to matter. And then when Diablo comes in, we don't have the speed advantage that we want. And they still have a blue guy coming down, so the blue guy is probably going to demolish Murkai very quickly. Yeah. So we can go Endurance Aura to make ourselves a bit faster, which means we get this off. But then we don't actually get a kill there. So I don't think I do go for the aura. I think I have to go for the punch. Or I hope to win this flip. I mean, you're always just doing this, so it doesn't matter. I don't know. I think I have to go for the punch. And win the coin flip. Okay. Okay. I mean... Sure. I don't think we're winning? Question mark? Okay, we might actually win here. Hold up. We go for endurance right here. We slowed these two, so that means we get to go first. We go for a nice little fire stomp. Which should full clear. No. This will do 12 times 3, 36. We'll try to get that punch off. And then we go for slow. I think we get there. Okay, so we're both slowed. And then we go... Back-to-back Murloc wins! Okay. Here we go. I might have been able to proc the second one, but it's a bit slower and it's a little riskier. It's 3 o'clock. I should eat some food. I mean, we just go for the same opener, right? I'll try slightly different positioning in case of Lich King. I think with this opener, I mean, this still could have Lich King technically. If you don't have a Merc, is it worth grinding the coins to craft it, or is 500... Okay, so if you're not crafting it, then how are you getting it? Tropograss. Are you going to commit to opening enough packs until you randomly get the legendary? Because if so, then yes, it's not worth crafting it. But if you don't plan on buying packs, then there's no other way to get the guy, unless you get really lucky in like a random free pack that you get. So it's really up to you if it's worth it or not. It is not efficient to craft, but you don't really have alternatives. It's impossible to open legendaries free to play. It's not. If you complete later, like tasks 16, 17, 18, give you a pack each for each mercenary. So there's a lot of packs you can grind there, but it's, again, big time investment. Uh-oh. Huh. Monka, Monka, I chose not to kill Varden this turn. Okay.
You will answer.
I think this my Varden will also die here, but that's okay. I'm gonna go for the Varden Death Blow. So they're gonna immediately hit Varden twice with the Cairn. Sorry, with the Thrall. That's okay. So Thrall's gonna go for Taunt, which means what do I want to do? I want to make a dude. And then I do this. Yeah. So I could go for the Murloc missile as backup in case Varden dies. But there's two cases. One, if Varden dies, they're targeting Varden, and then it's probably better just to go for the AoE. Sure. Oh, they're not going for the taunt. Okay. Wow, that was a lot of damage. Okay. Oakley dokley. Yeah. I mean, sure. So they have Zyrella left on the board. Okay, so they go for Endurance Aura this turn, which means Diablo is going to demolish my board, kick W. Is it a full clear though? Yeah, it pretty much is. Maybe not, but probably. Okay. Okay, so before I hit ready, I'm going to take this time to think. They used taunt last turn and Double Strike. So Samuro can go for Mirror Image, which is a speed of 3. I think I lose this, but I'm not 100% certain. I can go for Endurance Aura. So if I go for Endurance Aura, I get to attack first with these two, but does that matter? I'm not sure if it does. I think I'd rather go for the setup and then do it next turn. I think I lose this. And the thing is, they get a Karen ability as well. Oh, yeah, that was a problem, huh? I did not pay attention to that. Wait, their Karen doesn't have Reincarnate? Oh, I already killed the first part? Oh. Unfortunately, I don't think it matters anyways, but... Yeah, I think we died. I think we lost to this. Did I throw this? Maybe I threw. This actually seems so good, and now it's not good. You know? Wait. No, we still lose this, right?
Job's done.
Right? I think I still lose this. $14 plus 20. Shit. I lose. I do lose. That's unfortunate. Yeah, there's no way out. If they do this optimally, I lose. Oh well, unlucky. They did not do this optimally. They messed up. This was wrong. Wait, did we win? Wait a minute. Hold up. So they're slower. So I can go for this, then Fire Stomp. It goes 3 times. It kills Zyrella, deals 18 to Diablo. And I'm guaranteed to go first there. Or am I supposed to do something different? I could alternately go for Uppercut. No, I think I do that. Because it means that, yeah, if I don't do this, Zyrella probably kills one, which is just not good. Okay, winnable. So go for Apocalypse and Earth Stomp, and then we win next turn with either Fire Stomp or 20. Or I could... What if I don't Apocalypse? No, it is just Apocalypse, though. Yeah. Oh, boy. Got there. 3 wins in a row with Murloc comp. Okay, new meta? I think if they had chosen the right abilities there, we would have lost, though. That was pretty good. 3 Murloc wins in a row. All right. That's good enough. We won 3 in a row. We can say that it is not a fluke. All skill, comp is the nuts. Clickbait YouTube video imminent.